What is going on, Catch fam? My name is Jahan Dotson, and in today's video, we will be going over 5 rookie receivers that I believe present great draft value overall. These are rookie receivers who I think are being currently undervalued at their current ADP and will have an opportunity to break out at the wide receiver position for the 2022 fantasy football season. Before we hop into today's content, I do kindly ask that you guys hit that like button down below if you enjoyed today's content, and of course hit that subscribe button. Come join the Catch family on the road to 1,000 subscribers here at the Catch. Truly does help us out when you guys subscribe to our channel. We release free daily fantasy football content to help you guys dominate your fantasy football leagues in 2022, and feel free to drop any comments, questions, concerns pertaining to the 2022 fantasy football season down below. Without further ado, let's hop into the video. All right, number one, I've got Chris Olave of the New Orleans Saints, who's currently coming in at an average ADP at 97.3 through the Sleeper app. Listen, you look at this receiving core overall, you got Michael Thomas coming back healthy as a wide receiver 1. You add Jarvis Landry to this offense. Hopefully Kamara is going to be able to play a fair amount in this season. We'll continue to look for an update here in the offseason, but obviously Kamara affects the passing game as well. You have Jameis Winston coming back, who, don't get me wrong, he's Jameis Winston, but at the end of the day, he can sling the football around, and I really just think Olave is in a good position to be open on a consistent basis, to not see a ton of defensive pressure with how many other options are going to be in this passing game. Plus, when you look at things overall, the Saints wanted Olave on their football team. They traded up to select him, and they traded away a lot of value in the 2022 NFL draft. So I absolutely think that the Saints have plans for Olave. And on top of that, he was a tremendous prospect, one of our favorite wide receiver prospects here at the Catch going into the 2022 NFL draft. I really just think he's in a good position, and I really think where you can select him, at least at the moment in fantasy football mock drafts, presents a lot of upside for your roster. I think he's a great receiver to have as a wide receiver 3 or 4, and I really think he could have a breakout rookie season in 2022. All right, next up on the list, we've got Skymore of the Kansas City Chiefs, who's currently going at an ADP of 123.6 through the Sleeper app. And listen, I really don't understand, before the NFL draft started, we had so much buzz that whoever the Chiefs are selecting, I want on my fantasy football team, and really that talk has kind of died down since the NFL draft. They went out and they draft Skymore in the second round. I get it, he's not a first round receiver, but at the end of the day, even with a crowded receiving core with MVS, with McCole Hardman, with our boy Juju, and of course with Travis Kelce, I really do think that Skymore is going to have an opportunity to step up and make a lot of big plays in this Kansas City Chiefs offense. And listen, you got Mahomes, you got Andy Reid. I know Tyreek Hill is gone, but I really do think that this offense is going to be just fine, and that Skymore is a big part of that plan. And overall, once again, similar to every rookie receiver on this list, he doesn't cost you a ton of draft capital. You can draft him as your wide receiver 4, throw him on the bench, take a flyer, and I think that Skymore is absolutely going to be worth it moving into the 2022 fantasy football season. Third on the list, we got my boy George Pickens, the king of the off-season NFL rookie memes, maybe right next to my boy Jameson Williams on the Detroit Lions. But nonetheless, look, at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers know how to develop young rookie receivers. He is currently coming in at an ADP of 134.2 overall on the Sleeper app. And I just have a personal conviction in George Pickens. I think when you look at the past couple years with what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been able to do with young receivers, they do a phenomenal job of not only developing them, but also getting them engaged within the offense. I just personally believe that George Pickens is going to have a good rookie season. He is one of my favorite rookie receivers to go out and target, and he's absolutely worth a flyer in late rounds moving into the 2022 fantasy football season. Fourth on the list, we got my guy Jahan Dotson coming in at an ADP of 142 through the Sleeper app. And listen, I actually think that Dotson is in a similar situation to Chris Olave. When you look at this offense, not necessarily as loaded in the receiving position as the Saints offense or the Chiefs offense, but I still think that defensive units are going to have to apply the pressure to Scary Terry as the #1 receiver, and that's going to open up things for Jahan Dotson. Overall, I get it. Not everyone is in love with Carson Wentz by any means at the QB position, but he can move the football. From a touchdown perspective, Carson Wentz still had a decent season overall last year, and I really think that Dotson is going to be open on a consistent basis. It was a prospect that a lot of the fantasy community was high on moving into the 2022 NFL draft, and I just think he's absolutely, like everyone else on this list, worth taking a shot on as a bench receiver moving into the 2022 fantasy football season. Last on the list, we've got Alec Pierce of the Indianapolis Colts. He's coming in at an ADP of 183 through Sleeper. You can essentially make Alec Pierce the last player drafted for your fantasy football teams, at least at this point in the off season, and I absolutely love the value that Alec Pierce holds. You add Matt Ryan to this offense. We just talked about Carson Wentz is going to be a different offensive unit. Obviously, they're going to run first, but I really think that Matt Ryan's going to be a nice fit for this offense. Obviously, Michael Pittman's going to be the wide receiver 1, but Pierce has already started to make some buzz through OTAs here in the offseason. I think that he's going to be able to step up, be a nice slot type receiver, a nice red zone target as well. I think he's going to play very similar to Hunter Renfrow. He may not have a breakout rookie season, but I still think he holds some good value. Might take some time to develop him, but I really do think he's going to be a big part of the Colts offense and at least show some fantasy value throughout the year, even if it's not on a weekly basis. So the fact that you can pick him essentially, like I said, as the final selection of your drafts at the moment, I think he's absolutely worth a shot. And like I said, he has been making some buzz here in the offseason at training camp and showing up in good fashion. So I really like his value at the moment moving into the 2022 fantasy football season. And that'll do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's content, make sure you hit that like button down below and consider subscribing, joining the Catch Fam on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Of course, feel free to drop any comments, questions, concerns pertaining to the 2022 fantasy football season down below. And be sure to come out to one of our nightly live streams, whether we're drafting through Underdog or conducting a live mock draft. Come out, hang out, talk fantasy, and have some fun. And with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And